Our second speaker this evening is Mr. Mark Regev from the Prime Minister's office. Mark Regev is the international spokesman for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. A career diplomat since 1991, Regev has served in Hong Kong, Beijing, and Washington, where he was embassy spokesman for 5 years. While based in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs headquarters in Jerusalem, he served as ministry spokesman under foreign ministers Silvan Shalom and Tzipi Livni. Regev joined the Prime Minister's office in 2007, serving as international spokesperson to Prime Minister Ehud Olmert. Regev holds a bachelor's degree in political science and history from Melbourne University, a master's in political science from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and an MSM in management science from Boston University. Prior to joining the Israeli Foreign Service, Regev was an instructor in international relations and strategy at the IDF Staff College. Regev lives with his wife and 3 children in Re'ut. We are honored to have Mr. Regev here today. He is an extremely busy man and has more experience than anyone in the Israeli government in dealing with these threats in terms of the media, and we are really honored to have you here today. So thank you, Mr. Regev.
Yoav came into my office about 2 months ago, and the introduction was through my intern Zvi, who's just out of the IDF himself, and I wasn't aware of Avi's story. I'm a different generation. I did my service in the Nachal, also as an Oleh Hadash, in 1984. Most of you weren't born in 84, I presume. Maybe just me and Anat, I don't know. It was a long time ago. But when I heard this story, I had this affinity because Avi was like me. He's better looking and obviously brighter, or what. But we both were Olim Chadashim. We were both in the Nachal. It was important for both of us to do Shirut Kravi, to do a meaningful service in the military. And the story immediately gelled with me at a personal level. And if we think about Avi, it's a terrible story. Because here's a guy who volunteers for combat duty in the IDF, serves here in elite units, and he gets run over by a drunk driver in Rhode Island. I mean, there's no logic. It's just pain. Just taken away for no reason. And I have nothing but admiration and respect for the family, for you, for Yoav, and to the parents who've taken this pain and this tragedy and saying, we're going to do something with Avi's memory, and we're going to make something that's going to make a real contribution. And I think all of us here in this room have to have nothing but respect and admiration for the family, for the parents, for the brother, who are really trying to make a unique contribution here through the memory of Avi. And obviously Sunday's a busy day for the Prime Minister, and he couldn't come himself. But there's also a parallel with the Prime Minister. Losing a brother, coming here to volunteer from overseas with parents abroad in a combat unit. So in many ways, Avi's story is the family story, but it's also the Prime Minister's story. It's also my story in a funny way. All of us who've left families abroad and come here and wanted to make a contribution. And so I'm here because I want to praise you. I want to admire you. I want to praise and admire Avi, and it's ultimately what you're doing, I think, is terribly, terribly important. Now, when you introduced me, you said, you seem to think I know something about advocacy on college campuses. Well, I don't. The last time I was advocacy on college campuses was at Melbourne University in Australia, when there's a guy there who was with me there, in 1981, when I was doing my BA, right? It's more than a generation ago. I don't think even Hamas was formed in 1980. It was like it was really a different world. And I remember, though, there was the Palestinians used to come and we used to yell at each other, and what I've heard about Avi, I deal with the media. I deal with the BBC, CNN, trying to represent Israel. I mean, the idea is you don't win an argument but beating your fist against the table or about yelling. You don't win an argument by yelling at someone else, by shouting facts at someone else. Sorry. You can convince someone through your empathy. You can convince someone by showing that you actually care. You can convince someone by being a real representative of Israel. When I speak to audiences, sometimes these groups of, I don't want to criticize any organization, but, a group of people who come from some place and they love a perfect Israel. It's very easy to sit in Adelaide, Australia, or Durban, South Africa, or Los Angeles, California, and love a perfect Israel. But Israel isn't perfect. All of us who live here know that Israel's not perfect. When someone says, I love because Israel's perfect, Israel never makes a mistake, that's like a 12-year-old child in junior high school saying, I love the boy or the girl sitting next to me. That's not called love, that's called infatuation. Correct? Love is living with the same person for an extended period of time and knowing everything that they do that annoys you and still wanting to live with them. Correct? That's what love's all about. And so I think what Avi's message was, and I heard him say it and I heard you say it, Yoav, is knowing that Israel makes mistakes and yet still loving the country. Knowing that there is much that has to be done here to make this country a better place. And wanting to be part of that. And I think Avi's example to all of us should be an inspiration. And if we can make a difference by being part of this project, I think we're blessing his memory. Thank you all very much.